If you're going to look for salespeople, don't just hire one salespeople. Always try to hire at least two people so that they can compete with each other and one person makes the other person grow so much more better. Make sure that there is a leaderboard set up where the entire team can see what have been the dials that have been that day and who's leading the dial board, not just the sales board. Salespeople always love challenges, and the more you challenge them in different ways, the easier it is going to be for you to manage and lead them. You can know if your sales team is going to make it or not. Do they have the courage? Do they have the audacity to really ask people?
I'm Darshan Chavan, and over the past 11 years, I have helped hundreds of business owners like you get more free time, increase profits, and also unlock exponential growth using remote teams. I have also built my own team of over 170 staff in around 4 countries. In this podcast, I'll share with you the mindset, the strategies, and the leadership tools that will help you build a remote team that scales without any chaos. Ready to grow your business faster with less stress? Let's go.
Do not build a sales team until you watch this and understand what are the principles, what are the different things that are needed, and also the checklist that you want to build a really high-performing sales team. So in this video, I'll be really discussing what are the things that you need to have in place before you start building a really high-performing sales team. Before that, let's really understand why do you need to build a sales team and what are the benefits, what are some of the advantages of having a sales team. First and foremost, it really drives your business growth and you start really scaling and taking your business growth to a completely next level. The second thing is for you as an entrepreneur or as a business owner, this is where you start getting freedom. Because I've seen that in my own businesses, I was attached to the business more and more until I was the only person who was selling. The more I was able to hire salespeople and build remote team, that's when I was able to transition from being a business operator to being a business owner. And this was a really critical part of the puzzle. And the third one as well, for your own business to add more services and also to provide better service to your current clients as well. You can upsell your current clients and the possibilities are absolutely unbelievable. And last but not the least, the fourth one is it increases your profitability. And especially when you have a remote sales team, your profitability really soars and the possibilities are absolutely amazing when compared to having someone in person trying to go visit your clients. It's just not needed these days, especially when you can use tools like Zoom, Slack, Google Meet, and all those things. It's really not needed to have an in-person sales team, and you can always replace it with a remote sales team. A big warning before I even start discussing what are the things that you need to build a remote sales team is to really understand and make sure you have a good lead flow for your salespeople. This can be through running ads, be it Facebook ads, Google ads, whatever it might be, or at least having a list that your salespeople can call and having a premium sales navigator access. If you can't figure out the lead flow, my suggestion is do not start a sales team because they wouldn't have enough leads to call. And if you assume that your salespeople will be getting leads, it doesn't work out because they just can't do both, try to generate leads and at the same time call those leads. It'll be not the best use of their time. And if you really want to know about running ads and building the lead flow, go and watch the episode about direct response marketing. We have broken down everything over there as well. So here are the 7 things that you really need to build a remote sales team. Let's start with the first one. The first one is about knowing and really having a clarity of what does a remote sales rep mean? What are the characteristics? What exactly do they need to have? And the more you document this and more you have it ready, it's going to be so much more easier. The first and foremost one is understanding their traits. Do they have the courage? Do they have the audacity to really ask people? And I can't tell you how important it is because until unless you know how to ask people for referral, for sales and how you can close deals, it's going to be so much more harder to coach them on anything else. The second trait that they need to have is their ability to be coachable and their ability to unlearn things. This is extremely crucial depending on your project, depending on your service that you will be selling, which might be so much different than what they would have sold before. But if they don't have that ability to learn new things, it's just going to not work out. And this is a common thing which I tell all our new salespeople who join our organization, is their ability to completely unlearn what they might have sold before, the way that they might have sold, and learn a new way of selling. A third important trait to look out for in salespeople is their hunger. All right. The more hungry, the more driven they are, it's just going to be so much more easier to lead these salespeople. And also how competitive they are. The more competitive salespeople you have, it's going to be so much more easier. That's why when I coach people or when I mentor people, I always tell them, if you're going to look for salespeople, don't just hire one salespeople. Always try to hire at least two people so that they can compete with each other, and one person makes the other person grow so much more better. And the last one, and the most important trait of all, is their resilience and their persistence. Their ability to go from one no to another without losing the optimism, without losing the enthusiasm. The more that you are clear and know that they are extremely persistent, and where they can give you examples as well, different scenarios in which they can exhibit that they were one of the most persistent person in the company, is just going to be so much more easier. And the way that you can usually screen them as well is by using sometimes like a Loom video that you can ask them to spend to send it to you or your to recruitment team, and also making sure that they have really good internet speed. And some of them might even have some of the call recordings, depending on the privacy of their previous companies. You can even ask them to share these call recordings. And the best one that we usually use is asking our sales candidates to share different awards that they might have won in their previous company, to know that they are a winner. Have they won any certificates to show that, yep, they were the top performers? Do they have any plaques? Do they have any awards, any medals that show that they were one of the top sales reps in the company? So once you get this, it's going to be so much more easier for you to know that this is the salesperson that I want to hire. The second one about building a remote sales team is going really hard on your interview and hiring process. I believe this is where you can know if your team, especially a remote sales team, is going to make it or not. And this is where I personally tend to spend a lot of time on, because they always say that you cannot make someone a winner. They are either born or they already have those characteristics. And one thing that we try to do most of the time is to headhunt really top salespeople, or at least know that they have had really good sales background. And when it comes to personality, we usually tend to go depending on the project. They are either high D or low C, or high C or low D personality, depending on the disc profiling, that they are extremely results driven people. Okay, and they have a bit of attention to detail as well. And when we know that they are results driven, we know that they are competitive as well, and they can get results. The second thing that we also do during the interview is to really go hard on role play, where I or my sales managers act as the customers and give them all the objections that we currently have in our company. And the most important thing that we look out for is, are they just pitching for their product or service, or are they doing more of a consultative method of selling, and trying to understand the pain point and trying to match our offer to the pain point of the customers. And also we do another thing called as a hunger test. By this, what I mean to say that is, we ask different questions to know what are their goals, all right? Why do they really need this job? What are the reasons why they need to make money? Because especially with salespeople, one of the biggest drivers that they have is to earn good commissions and make good money. So this is where we go a bit deeper in really understanding what are their drivers, what are their motivations, and how much is their hunger. The more the hunger, the easier it is for them to succeed as a salesperson, because especially in sales, it's not much of a technical knowledge, it's not much of your acumen, but it's about your drive. And another thing that we do during our interviews is also called as a breadwinner test. We really want to understand that are they the breadwinner in their family? Do they have a lot of obligations? Do they need to pay their kids' tuition fees, the school fees? Do they have a big enough mortgage? And the reason why we go deeper on this is when they have a lot to lose, they become way more persistent and they really push through a lot of hurdles. They will never take no for an answer and they follow up with clients more, and yeah, they just eventually become so much more persistent. And also we ask about their standing in their last company and also some other evidences that they can send us to know that they were in the top 5% or the top 10% in their company. Because if we can get some evidence or some proof that they can show us they were in the top 5% or 10% of the salespeople in their company, it becomes so much more easier for us to get results from them. The third thing that's really important before we finalize a sales team and you grow your sales team is your rhythms and rituals that you have. So I'll be sharing with you what we do to build a multi-7-figure sales team. And the first one to start with is a daily morning huddle where the entire sales team comes together and we discuss previous day's wins, what we were accountable for, what has been working, and so that everyone knows that there have been people who are winning. And the most important thing is in this huddle is to really appreciate and recognize those salespeople who are getting really good results. And we can see that the results always rub off on other people. And when we start commending, recognizing salespeople, they really thrive on this. The second thing that we do is on every Monday morning, we share a really good motivational, instructional, or an inspirational video because as we know, sales is 90% mindset and 10% is about the tactics, the strategies that you can use. And a bigger impact we can have in crafting the mindset and the perspective of the salespeople is just going to have a really big impact. And another thing that we do is for skill improvement is the weekly call calibrations, where we usually choose 2 calls and make sure people listen to these sales calls even before they come to this. And everyone is attending this call and giving their feedback on it. So the most important thing that needs to be done over here is to have that open mindset and everyone is learning how they can overcome different objections, different rebuttals, and what's the best things that they can implement to get really good results. And a very important thing that we started doing just from an year or two is where we get our clients to come every month and share their wins to our sales team. This is a really important one. If you look at it, the reason being our sales team can see that they are having an impact. They are able to do something just apart from commissions and money that they make. They're really changing people's life. And when they can really hear it from our clients, the buy-in that they have is completely different. And their belief in selling the product or service is a completely next level thing as well. And this has been a biggest needle mover routine or rhythm that we keep doing every single month. And added to this, at the beginning of every month, we also do a town hall where we recognize and appreciate those people who are performing really, really well. And over here, we recognize the person who got the highest sales, the person who got their personal best, who did the highest dials, and also the person who has the biggest pipeline for that month. Because, yeah, salespeople thrive on this. They just want to make sure that they're being recognized, they're being appreciated, and yeah, they're encouraged to perform at their best. The fourth thing that you can use as your checklist when you're building a remote sales team, especially when you're trying to scale your sales team, is making sure that you have a very rock solid sales playbook. So I'll just quickly cover what are the things that you can include in this playbook as well, so that you can start working on it and you can use this as a checklist. The first and foremost one is scripts. When I say script, both the calling script, the email script, the text message script, according to different channels as well. It can be for accessing Facebook leads, Google leads, if in case you're doing cold calling or people coming through LinkedIn, whatever channel it might be, making sure the script is as specific as possible. And there is one particular place that the salespeople can go to have a look at these scripts, and they can reflect on these scripts as well. Another thing that we usually do add to this playbook are called as wow calls. When I say wow calls, some of the calls that are really exceptional, that new people, when they come to the team, they can listen to this. Not just that, even the current salespeople, when their morale is a bit low, they're not getting any sales, they can go back to this particular folder, listen to their winning sales calls. This builds a process where they can understand that, wow, I have got the sales so very well, I can use this again. So this has a really big one, to make sure that there is a particular folder which is called as a wow call, and all those calls which are really good calls can be put over there. And another thing that you can add in the sales playbook is different objections, different rebuttals, and what are the ways that we can overcome, what questions that we can ask, what are the different things that you can say to overcome these different objections. And another thing that you can add to this one, especially in these days where people are looking at the trust factor, is creating your sales assets. When I say sales assets, your different testimonials, the best testimonials you've got, the different reviews you've got, case studies, the different reports you can give to your clients, different bonuses you can give to your clients, all of them in one particular repository, which your salespeople can keep sending your clients. All the case studies that are relevant to what you're selling, this has a really big impact on it. And last but not the least, an FAQ section, which clearly gives them details about the pricing structure, information about your competitors, the timelines, anything that is related to your sector and your industry, so that they don't need to keep calling the sales manager or another salesperson or the customer support people. All they need to do is go to this particular place and they can get all the information that they want.
Just quickly, guys, if you have found us struggling to scale your business without burning out or hiring the wrong people, we can help. Book in a call with me using the link in the show notes, and let's help you build a lean and a high-performing remote team that frees up your time and also increases your profits. Now, back to the episode.
So the fifth thing that you really need to have in place before you start a sales team is to have clarity on the different measurements and different accountability things that you need to have clarity on. The first one is the daily activities. What are the dials? What's the conversation duration? What is the pipeline? Make sure that there is a leaderboard set up. It can be as simple as on Google Sheets, where the entire team can see what have been the dials that have been that day and who's leading the dial board, not just the sales board. And also a weekly dashboard as well, which shows different talk time, the duration of the talk time, the pipeline, the sales that people have got. To be honest with you, having this sales leaderboard is a game changer for managing any remote sales team. The reason being, as I have discussed in the beginning of the video, salespeople are extremely competitive. And when they see their name at the border of the leaderboard, there's nothing that drives them more than making more calls and making sure that they are on top of the leaderboard. So I always tell our team to at least put this leaderboard on our Slack channel at least 2 to 3 times in a day. In the morning at 9 a.m. when people start making the calls, and in the afternoon maybe at around 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. when there is a bit of the middle day slump, and also in the evening around 5 p.m. this leaderboard is being shown over and over again, because people know where they stand. And as they say, if you want to improve something, you got to measure and get the better results out of it. We also measure different things in a monthly way as well. This can be the conversion rates according to each channel. How much different salespeople converted on Facebook, on Google, on website, on LinkedIn, so that we know that who are the salespeople who are dominant in different channels as well. A few more things that we also track is the upsell rates and referral rates, so that we can know that who are the people who are really good at getting the best value out of customers. And the last one that we usually track is their cancellation rates and refund rates according to each salespeople. Because some salespeople might be really good at getting the results, but they are not good in convincing the customer. There will always be a buyer's remorse. So this all things, when we start tracking, we start communicating it to the sales team as well, so that they can improve their skills. And this is the reason why we track everything, so that we can improve their skills and their traits as well. The sixth one, which I would like to quickly discuss, is about the different softwares that we use in our company as well to manage remote sales team. The first one is a dialing software, which is going to be extremely critical. Currently, we are using Dialpad AI, using which we can clearly see the call duration. They have different tools as well called as AI playbooks, AI scorecards, which makes QA is going to be so much more easier. So second thing is your customer relationship management tool. I would suggest to have it very important before you start any sales team, and also like a lead generation tool like clay.com and also sales navigator, so that the sales team has a better information before they start dialing and calling the leads. The last and the most important one that you need to have in place before you hire and build a sales team is your compensation structure or your incentive and commission structure. The reason being, salespeople always love challenges. And the more you challenge them in different ways, the easier it is going to be for you to manage and lead them. So in our company, we have so many different incentives and commission structure. So I'll explain a few of them over here, where the first one that we have is a tiered incentive structure. So if someone gets between 2 to 10 sales, they make this much extra bonus. If they make from 10 to 20 sales, they get this much extra bonus. And this is on top of the commission that they make per every single sale. The reason being, this motivates people to reach different tiers. And I can see that every month our salespeople want to move from tier 2 to tier 3 to tier 4, and tier 4 to tier 5. And the best part is, in our companies all across, we have uncapped commission. The only cap that you have is your hunger, your drive. So we just want to make sure that the salespeople can make as much money they want and really unleash their potential. The second thing we also do is we call it as spiffs. Those are some things that can be done pretty quickly. So the person who gets the highest number of sales today, okay, they're going to get this much bonus. Or the person who gets the highest referrals this week, they're going to get a Starbucks voucher. It's going to be something small, but at the same time, this drives a lot of engagement in the sales team, because they want to be someone that they can grab these things. The third thing that we also do is a personal best incentive. So if someone has hit 15 sales last month, what happens is they get challenged by themselves. Can they hit 16 sales the next month? And this is a really amazing incentive to have, because you're competing with your own previous best. So we offer different commissions as well for people when they are able to beat their own personal best. So they are able to go to a next level. And the fourth one is different kinds of quarterly incentives that we run. We run a 5-star buffet incentive, a staycation incentive, an appliance incentive. Usually these happen every 3 months. So we run a 5-star buffet incentive as well, where they can enjoy the 5-star buffet. And we also, next quarter, we'll be running an appliance incentive, where we have different appliances like a fridge, a television, a washing machine, or something that's really high in demand that they want to get their hands on. And during Christmas time, we also run a Christmas basket incentive, where they get to share a really big basket filled with goodies, wine, chocolates, and everything that they can enjoy with their family. And most importantly, for super high performers who are extremely driven, we have an yearly international trip as well. So this is really important thing that we use to retain top performers in our business. And at the same time, they have something that look forward to for their entire year. So yeah, these are some of the things that to make note of, and to make sure the sales team succeeds really well, you have your incentive structures really set up. You just have to spend some time. And the most important thing is you need to understand that sometimes this is an investment. It's not going to be an expense with your salespeople. That's the mindset that you need to have. Just make sure your team is really motivated with the incentive structure, especially your sales team. May not be for your admin team, may not be for any other teams, because for salespeople, the more motivated they are, the more they're looking forward to getting something, the better revenue and profit targets you will be able to hit. I hope you really got some amazing value about this particular video, and you got a clear idea what you need to have in place before you have a remote sales team. Let me know which of these 7 things stood out for you. And let me know if you want to learn more about these kind of stuff about building remote teams, remote sales teams. I'll be able to bring in more content about it.
If you got any value from today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the mindset, the strategies, and the leadership insights you need to scale with remote teams and grow a smarter business. If you want more support, check out the link in the show notes for our free remote team playbook that will help you hire, train, and lead a world-class remote team. And don't forget to follow us on socials at Darshan Chavan. And remember, scale smarter, not harder.